Hey guys, it's Lego42299 here, and I'm back. Guys, I finally finished some minifigures. I finished my entirety of my Suicide Squad figures, and we have the Joker, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Katana, and Diablo from the Suicide Squad film. And guys, I'm really happy with how most of these guys turned out. There's certain parts of them that weren't the best, but I'm just happy I got them done. You know, I've been working on them for so long now, and I finally have a video I can show to you guys. And I know you guys have been waiting for a showcase since February. That was the last time I posted a minifigure on this channel, February. I really don't know what to say about that. I don't want to have this ever happen again. It's been so long. And I did skip out on a few parts of these figures just because I wanted to get them done. I'll point those out and show you guys what I mean. But for the most part, most of them turned out pretty nice. I'm really happy with how they turned out. So I'm not going to talk too much longer here because I have to get going on some other stuff. I'm pretty busy as of the moment. So yeah, let's get started into a full close-up 360 of all these figures. Alright, to start us off, we have the first minifigure I finished for Suicide Squad, and that is the Joker. Now, this version of the Joker, I'm not a huge fan of, from the film anyway, not the minifigure, but from the film, I just didn't like him that much. I do want to see more of him, though, see if that will change my mind. Just didn't see enough of him, but what we did get, I didn't really like that much. But, yeah, so as you can see, I made this outfit. This is the outfit that he wore in a flashback when Harley Quinn was dipped in the chemicals, and that's the outfit I decided to make because it was the one with the least tattoos to paint. I didn't know he was going to be wearing the tuxedo until like the second trailer, and I had already worked on this torso. So his accessory here is an M1911 that's painted in a not a gunmetal, but like a metallic purple with some gold, and you can see the ejection port is painted in silver. This is a pistol that he used, not much in the movie, but he did have it. I don't believe it was an M1911, it might have been a different gun, but this is the closest thing I had, so I used that. So as you can see, the head of the minifigure has a green hairpiece that is painted, and it's just sanded off a bit, that widow's peak up there, make it a little more flush with the forehead, because that's how it looks in the film. I did have one that was more, but that just didn't look right, so I did it again. Then you can see the damage tattoo. That is a little big. It should be between the eyes, but that's as good as I could get it. One of you guys pointed out to me on Flickr that the eyes were too low on the minifigure, and that is the case. As you can see, they are really close to the lips because I bought the wrong head, I guess. I bought a mime head, and I thought it looked good because I didn't want to paint the eyes, and I erased everything and used it, but I didn't realize how close it was. And as you can see, the eyes are not in the right spot, and if I could fix that I would, but I just don't care at this point. So the torso of the minifigure is pretty self-explanatory. You can see you got the jacket there in the silver with the buttons and the buttonholes, and then some wrinkles on the back. The buttons on the side of the arms with the red cuff showing from the undershirt on both sides. That is the same. And then the torso, you can see the undershirt with all the buttons. I think I put too many buttons on the red shirt though. There shouldn't be that many buttons. I noticed that after I did it, but it's too late now to fix that. And then you can see a bit of the tattoo showing through the torso down there. It kind of looks like a tie in a way, but not really, because if you look at it, you can tell, you know, it's his undershirt, but it looks like a tie, and I found that kind of cool. But then you can see the belt buckle there painted in silver with the gray outlining of the belt itself, and then the legs of the minifigure you can see are just a standard pair of black legs with some lining, and then the shoes and just some wrinkles, and not much else on the back or anything in that matter. So yeah, that is about it for the Joker from Suicide Squad. A very simple minifigure. I could have done a much more complicated suit, but I decided not to because I just didn't want to, and I didn't know if I was going to like him or not, and he's okay, but this was the suit I decided to make, and that's why. So yeah, without further ado, let's move on. Alright, so Harley Quinn. Now this minifigure turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. As you can tell, the amount of detail I was able to pack into this thing is absurd. What I was able to do, I was not expecting it to look as nice as it did. So her accessory here is a brick arms revolver. I don't know the name of this revolver, but it's the closest thing that is to her revolver she uses in the film. I don't know what that one is either, but as you can see, I painted some of the gold on there with the little diamonds on the side, and I actually modified the handle for it's actually a white handle, as you can see right there. and it works for what it is. And I didn't make her a baseball bat because I just didn't have the time and I just didn't want to do it. So yeah, that's the reason why she doesn't have a baseball bat. But as you can see on the head, I have the cheerleader hairpiece painted in a tan color with some white wash on there. And then there's some pink highlights and the blue highlights with the hair bands. And that turned out really nice. And I'm really happy with the head. As you can see, there's the scar up there on her forehead. The eyebrows, the eyes themselves are not painted, but the rest of it is. So you can see the makeup smeared on her eyes, and then the lipstick smeared, and then the word rotten. It just really turned out nice, and I'm really happy with that. Then she has her neck is painted in gold, and it should say puddin', but I decided not to paint that just because it would take up too much time, and I just didn't want to do it. So the torso of the minifigure, so let me zoom in here for you guys can see this a little better. This turned out really nice, the Daddy's Little Monster. This took me about 3 days to paint, and I really spent a lot of time on it, and I was able to get it really nice looking, as you can see. And I could barely fit on the R there, and I was able to do it, and it looks great. And as you can see, you got the red up there, and the holes in the shirt, and the wrinkles, and then the flesh down below. And then her jacket here also turned out really nice. You can see I have the gold zippers on the side. Then on the arms, you can see the gold going down, then the red and gold stripes. And then on the bottom of the jacket, that continues with some black to kind of separate it. And that's the same on the other arm. And that turned out really nice and pretty clean. And then on the back, I'm really happy with how this turned out. So you got property of Joker. And you can see the Y just barely fits. And I actually misspelt this when I first did it. I don't remember what I did that was wrong. I think I forgot the T and I put in some other letter. And then I saw it and I was like, yeah, shit. So, but I redid it, and how I was able to get this so nice looking is I actually painted it first in a gray color, and you can kind of see it a little bit, and then I repainted it in gold, and that was able, because gold paint's hard to work with, so I just used the gray to do it first, and then do it again. And that K up there, I believe it's supposed to be a K. When I first did it, it actually looked more like a swastika, so I redid that. That's a fun little fact while I was making her. And yeah, so that turned out really nice. I'm really happy with the jacket and the torso in general. It just looks really great. And then you can see down here we have the belt piece. And that is painted in gold with a actual three-dimensional diamond there. And I do think it should have a gray outlining to kind of represent the belt a little better. The belt's not perfect, and as you can see on the back, it's a little wonky looking, but it works for what it is. And then you can see her panties down here. Saying panties, geez. But you can see that is painted in red and blue. And then the fishnet leggings, that took forever to do. I did that in an entire day, and that was a lot of fun to do, but also very tedious. And then you can see her shoes down below, painted in white and black and red. And you can see how that turned out. And if I actually move this a little bit, because you can't really see that with that stud in the way. Sorry about that. But you can see I have the heel actually painted on there, and that looks really nice. I will be getting a new stand soon. I hopefully want to make a better stand so you guys can see the minifigures a little better without those two studs in the way, and make it a little smaller as well. But I got to work on that and actually get some parts for that. But yeah, so that's about it for Harley Quinn. And yeah, so let's move on to another minifigure, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Alright, so next up we have Deadshot. Now, Deadshot turned out really nice. He's probably my favorite out of all these Suicide Squad minifigures because he just turned out really, really nice, like I said. And so his accessory here is a tiny tactical rifle. I don't know the name of it, but I feel like this replicates the rifle that he had in the film very well. I glued on ACOG scope, a stubby grip, a different clip, and a different stock. I don't know what the gun's called exactly, but as you can see, I painted it in a red color with some gold and some gunmetal on there. So let me remove that, for that's not in our way as we look at the rest of the minifigure. Now, the wrist guns are made out of tiny tactical laser sights that were cut up and sculpted with Procreate to kind of fill in the gaps, and those look really nice. And as you can see, they got the gold and the red on there with the gauntlets in red with the lighter red, and then the shoulder pads, that all looks nice with the gray outlining and some, you know, the red on the back and whatnot. So the head of the minifigure I painted out of using one of these heads. I don't know what it's from, but I erased all the eyebrows and the mouth and the cheekbones and kept the eyeballs, and I painted my own eyebrows and all that stuff, and as you can see, it looks really nice with the beard, and then the targeter on there sculpted with Procreate, and that wraps all the way around, and it looks really nice. I feel like I captured Will Smith very well with this head. I really like how it turned out. So the torso of the minifigure As you can see, has all the plating on there and everything with the bolts, and has some clips on the bottom, and those are not glued to the torso, they're glued to the belt, so I can still separate the torso if I want. And then you got the belt buckle right there, and then on the back of the torso you have the rest of the armor plating with all of its designs back there, and all looks really nice with the straps holding it down. And the straps do continue to the top of the torso as well, and that all looks really nice. Now, I wasn't able to paint I Am the Light of the Way on any bit of this minifigure because that would have been impossible, especially with the tiny little details. So, yeah. So, also really quick to point out, the straps do continue onto the side of the arms, and that is on that side as well. So the legs of the minifigure, as you can see here, have these straps going across with some belt buckles, and we got the knee pads going on down there with the boots, and then we have the ammo clips painted on the side there, outlined in a metallic black color so you can kind of see it still, and these straps go all the way around the minifigure. And I have an ammo pouch right there, not an ammo pouch, sorry, holster for his pistol right there. That is kind of reminiscent of my Deadpool minifigure, if you guys remember that, from earlier this year. But then inside the leg of the minifigure, you can see I do have a knife there, and that is accurate. I don't know if you guys know, but that is there, and I have that painted in there, and you can kind of see the handle sticking out too. And on this side, there is no knife. But yeah, so that's about it for Deadshot. There's not much else to say. I'm really happy with how this minifigure turned out. He is probably my more favorite out of all the Suicide Squad figures because, like I said, he turned out every way I wanted him to and really accurate. And yeah, he was probably my favorite character in the movie too. But yeah, so that's about it for Deadshot. Okay, so Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, was actually a lot of fun in the movie. Can you believe that? Jai Courtney being good in a movie? I have not seen that in a while. So this minifigure was pretty easy to do. For the most part, this one was probably one of the more simple figures I made out of the group because he's very simple, very simplistic design. So there's not going to be much to talk about here. But the Boomerang itself is made out of Procreate onto a handle piece, and I would have liked to have something a little better. It's a little janky, it's a little, you know, it's just a tad bit kind of crudely made, but I just want him to have something. So it is actually really hard to get out of his hands. So I'm just going to leave it there because I've broken it a few times. So I'm just going to leave it and just kind of try to go around it as best I can. So let me just turn that. There we go. Okay, I get so worried moving it around. So the face, as you can see here, is actually painted with a Frodo head from the Lord of the Rings sets, and I erased the mouth and all that and the eyebrows and just used the eyes. As you can see, had the little like bags underneath like Frodo, and I painted on the scars on his face and gave him some dirt on his face, as you can see, with his beard, and then his open mouth with his silver tooth is there, and then his stubble's there. Let me zoom in for you guys to see that a little bit. So you can see right there, that's what the face looks like, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And instead of just doing a straight up beanie or just a hairpiece, I made my own beanie in here. So I sculpted the beanie and the hair out of Procreate, and as you can see, that turned out really nice, and I'm really happy with how it turned out because you got the little hair that shows what, and he didn't wear the beanie that much at all through the film, but I do like having it there, and as you can see, it's in black, and it's nicely tied up to his head with the hair sculpted on there, and that looks really good. So the trench coat itself is painted in some gray colors, and you can see there is the kind of the buttons on the side here, and you can see that, and then the duct tape down below, some pockets here, and then some lines on the back. Pretty simple, and there's a pocket there as well, and on this arm there's a piece of duct tape, and then I got some black lines to represent as the seam lines, and then you got the little boomerang type of symbols there. I don't think they're actual boomerangs. And he's got his gauntlet here as well, with all the silver on it, and then the torso of the minifigure that says Captain. So let me kind of move that, and I'll zoom in on it so you guys can see that a little better. So I painted the words Captain into the torso, and that was a lot of fun to do. It really turned out nice, as you can see. I think the letters should be a little bigger, but overall it turned out nice. You can see the zipper at the end of the T, and then the undershirt with some gold chain, and then the white stripes that actually turned out okay. For using white paint, it actually looks really nice. And in the bottom of the legs, you can see it has these blue type of lines going on through there, and that looks nice because his jeans have like this weird pattern going on, kind of like they're ripped in a way. And then you got some duct tape on the boots, and also there's some duct tape on the front of the boot up there. You can kind of see that. It kind of goes over the top of the toe, and then it has a gray for the sole of the shoe. So overall, it looks really nice, and I'm really happy with how Captain Boomerang turned out. And like I said, he's kind of a more simple minifigure. There's not much else to talk about him. He's pretty simplistic, but it was a lot of fun in the movie. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Jai Courtney. I've seen him in a lot of films. He's kind of shit. But in this one, it actually worked for once. And I don't know why, but I really enjoyed his character in this one. And this minifigure turned out great. So hopefully you guys also like it. And let me know what you think of Captain Boomerang in the comments down below. So, Diablo. Guys, I was very, very intimidated to go into this minifigure, but I will say it was relatively easy. Maybe just because I skipped out on the back, but besides that, the face itself, I was really able to nail. I don't know how I did it. I'm going to zoom in for you guys can take a look at it, but I was able to get all the detail on the front of the face. Like I said, I skipped out on the back, but you got the words Diablo, and you got all the tattoos on there, and they look really good. I was really happy with them, especially the lettering, and that looks all great. And then you can see his accessories he has here. Let me zoom out again. Sorry about that. Are some standard Lego fire pieces that you would usually have on like a torch piece or something like that. So let me remove those so they're not in the way. So the arms are in a lighter blue with the cuffs with the lines painted on there, and those lines also are on the base of the jacket, at the top of the jacket and towards the collar, and those wrap all the way around, and those turn out really nice. And on the torso here you can see I have all the buttons on this side and all the white buttons on that side, and inside the torso it's pretty simple. It's just a tank top t-shirt with the wrinkles added in there, and then the belt piece has like the shirt extending over, and then you can see this little like I don't know what this is. I guess it looks like a belt, but it's hanging off there. And then he's got this little gold cross with a chain hooked onto the side of his leg, just like he has in the movie. And his shoes are a white color. And I don't really need to zoom in for that. It's pretty self-explanatory. I skipped out on most of the tattoos on the torso because I just didn't want to do them, like I said, but I was able to nail the head, and I was really happy with how he turned out. And Diablo was a pretty fun character in the movie, so yeah, it turned out really nice, and tell me what you guys think, especially the face. Okay, so next up we have Killer Croc. Now, Killer Croc is actually very interesting because I experimented with a lot of different things on this minifigure, stuff that I've never done before. So I guess we'll start off with the head. The head is just a normal Lego hood. I tried sculpting one at first and also sculpting the scales, but I didn't have enough time, so I just kind of cut out that and did this instead. I'll zoom in on the face so you guys can see that. I painted all these scales inside the face, the eyes, and the eyes were already there, and I kind of paint around them, and then the mouth. It's not perfect. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it works for what it is. You can see some of the scales continuing down to his neck, and then you got his hoodie under here that is painted in a brown color with his jacket with the dragon on the right side. And it is also three-dimensional. I sculpted that with Procreate, and it turned out pretty nice. I also sculpted the arms of the sleeves and also the back with the, as you can see, the dragon symbol there that looks more like a snake. But the arms themselves, the reason why I decided to sculpt is I just wanted them to look more big and beefy because Killer Croc is supposed to be like that. I also sculpted the hands and using electrical tape to do the kind of bandages around his hands, and that turned out really nice. I'm really happy with that. First time using electrical tape on a minifigure, and I plan to use that more often because it is really nice. And then the legs of the minifigure are actually extended legs. And this technique I learned from Aaron or Legomatic 9. I'll leave a link to his video in the description down below, and you can learn how to do these yourselves. More or less, you just chop the front foot off of a normal pair of Lego legs, and you take a plate and put it underneath and fill it in with Procreate, and it turned out pretty nice, and I do like it a lot. And it kind of just gives him a little bit more height than a normal minifigure, and I sanded it down quite a bit, so it's not exactly how tall it should be for having the extended legs, but I sanded it down because I wanted to, and as you can see there's a white stripe on both sides. And yeah, so that's about it for Killer Croc. There's not much else to say. Here's another little 360 of him. Pretty simple design for Croc, but I do like it. It turned out really nice for the most part. I'm not too key on the face, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Okay, so our last minifigure here is Katana. Now, Katana is also the last figure I finished for Suicide Squad, and I'm really happy with how she turned out. She turned out really great. There's a few parts of her, like I said, with a lot of these figures I kind of skipped out on because I wanted to finish, and I'll point those out. But we'll start off with her accessory. Now, her accessory here is it's a katana that you, well, it's the type of sword that she uses. It's called a katana. Her name's Katana. I don't know why. I don't know much about this character. But this sword is from Minifig Cat, I believe, where I got it. And I bought these swords originally for Deadpool, but they were too small, but it worked perfectly for Katana. And I painted that in a silver color, and then you can see at the bottom here a bit of gold. So let me remove that out of her hand, and that turned out really nice. So the head of the minifigure is using one of these hair pieces. I don't know exactly what it's called, but this hair piece I used, and I kind of modified a bit. As you can see, I sculpted on some hair strands here and one here that kind of to make her hair look a little more messy. I think a third one on this side would have been perfect, but you know, what could you have done? And as you can see on the face, I also did sculpt on a nose. It looks so weird on a Lego figure, but she has this, you know, nose piece, and it's very much so noticeable. And so I painted it on, not painted it, sculpted it on there, and you can see the eyes and the little red symbol there, and these scars on her face, and her, you know, her lips and all that stuff. So inside the torso here, you can see it is the air-light curved torso. Pretty simple design. It's just a white fabric, and then the jacket itself was a lot of fun to paint, especially the like lotus symbol on the side there. That was really fun, and it turned out really nice. And then you can see the zippers on both sides, and then on this arm here we got some Japanese lettering that isn't perfect, but it's the best I could do. And if I bend her down, you can see there's some red symbols above there. And then on this arm you got the other lotus symbol that turned out also really nice. It is missing one petal though, so it's a little uneven. And then the band here with all its dots and the red dot, and then the little elbow pads, and then her wrists are also painted in a flesh color, and the same elbow pads you can see there. And the back of the torso turned out really nice. As you can see, we have the half lotus, this type of hazard sign that's actually on her outfit, the circle, and the ribbons on the back here turned out really great. I was really happy when I made these. I made these out of Cape Madness materials. The same can be said for this jacket. It's a Cape Madness jacket. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I don't think I mentioned that for Harley and Diablo. I don't think I said that, you know, they had this type of jacket. But then on the legs here, you can see this design here, and then you got some string down there, and then you got the laces there, some Japanese lettering there, the knee pads, and the same can be said on this side. And that line there is on purpose because it's not on the other side. And this should have another lotus symbol and some more Japanese lettering, but I kind of opted out on that. And then you got the red across here. And granted, she does not have her sheath for her sword because I just didn't have the time, and I didn't want to spend too much time working on this figure. But how she turned out, I'm really happy with it. Like in comparison to some of the other figures where I'm not totally satisfied, this one I'm pretty satisfied on. She turned out really cool in the end. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think of Katana in the comments down below. And that's it. So let's go wrap this video up, and I can post it and then get back to work on other stuff and get you guys an update video as soon as I can. Alright, so that's about it for my custom LEGO Suicide Squad custom minifigure showcase. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for your patience as well. I know you guys wait a long time to see figures, and I know it doesn't come really quick, but they take a long time to make, and I'm sorry I can't sell them to you guys or anything like that. It's a hobby for myself. I make them and I show them to you guys, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on them and whatnot, and maybe inspire you guys to make your own figures. Whatever the case, I just enjoy making these figures and showing them to you guys. But yeah, and these are the only Suicide Squad figures I'm going to make. I kind of hit my background, but I'm going to keep going. The Joker outfit, like I said, I would have preferred to make the tuxedo one. That was my favorite, but I'm not going to make it now. I don't want to make any more Suicide Squad figures. I'm not going to make the Enchantress or Rick Flag or Amanda Waller. I don't want to make any of those figures. I just want to... I made these ones, and I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. So, yeah, so like always, don't forget to follow me on Flickr and Twitter and Instagram. I have an Instagram now. Links to all three of those will be in the description down below. And definitely go check me out on Flickr. There'll be nice photos of all these figures, including my Batman vs. Superman that I'll be posting over there, just because he's not going to get a video ever. So he's just probably going to get posted on there because I'm not making Batman vs. Superman figures as of this point. I never finished the Batman. I would like to finish him in the future, but I don't think I'll make a video on them. So if you want to see that Superman, he'll be on my Flickr and probably my Instagram as well if you want to check him out over there. But my Instagram I'm going to use more for update type of photos. So if you want to see like behind the scenes stuff, go check that out. And yeah, so what's next? On my plate is to work on Rogue One minifigures. I want to work on them. I know Doctor Strange is coming up, but I'm going to skip out on him right now. I'll probably make him later in the year, but maybe if I have enough time, I will make him sooner, but I'm not going to make him for when the film comes out. Maybe I won't even like the movie, who knows. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I think that's about it. There's not much else to say. I will be posting an update a few days from now, just kind of give you guys a rundown of what's been going on. I got a job now, I got school going on, I've been very busy, and I want to update you guys a little more, so definitely don't forget to follow me, like I said, on my social medias. But yeah, okay, so I am trying to remember what I say, because I haven't done a video in so long. So hope you guys have a nice day. God bless you, people of justice, and may the force be with you always. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. See, I remembered it. It just took me like 5 seconds sitting here and just thinking into the void of nothingness that is my brain. I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching. And really, oh my word. I am not having a good time doing this. I just want to die. Got a... shit. You gotta remember this stuff. And I want to get done with this minifigure. There's a lawnmower in the background. There's a lawnmower in the background. Wrapped around them.